Alrighty folks, I'm going to do a redo of the B minor pentatonic I did earlier, because I noticed later on in there the guitar you couldn't see the upper part of the fretboard. Now there's some Intel being played right now. In the background, the speakers from the computer's about 10 feet away from here. And I put the speakers at the top of the stairs so my wife can listen to it. We listen to some stuff off of BitChute and Rumble. I cannot hear it in the distance. I hope it doesn't show up too much in this video. So I'm going to go back over that a little bit on the B minor pentatonic. Somebody commented that they appreciate the videos. I don't know what it looks like in there till I'm done doing the video, and then I go and click it on, plug it in the computer and then put it on, and then I see it, and then I go, oh, okay. A good part of it, you could see the entire fretboard. But later on, I had the guitar leaning down a little bit. Alright, so anyways, I'm going to continue and go back over that B minor pentatonic. This is about learning something on the entire fretboard. So when I work on something, I make a decision, whatever the key might be, and I mentioned it at the tail end of that last video, like I was telling this is for a friend of mine, but it's for all you viewers too. Like D major is the key we're dealing with here. B minor is the relative minor of D major. So I've been noodling with triads in D, such as here's a B minor triad. It's 3 of the notes of a B minor chord. And there's a diminished, C sharp, and then a D major here. What do I got? How did I do it? I forgot now. I think like this. A major, G, F sharp minor, E minor, D. And then I would also noodle with modal stuff from the key of D major, and using A as an example, I would drone the A string and do 2 other notes, thus a triad, off of the B, D and G string, keeping it all D major, starting with a, where am I now? If I go all the way up, just doing these kind of things and listening to what they sound like. So I'm not fishing in the dark, noodling with things to look for what sounds like. I'm purposely picking a key and toying with all kinds of different things staying in that key. In this case, if I drone the A and I use the other 2 strings, the D and G strings, playing out of D major, you know, like goofing in the key of D major, focusing on a Mixolydian flavor right there. You can hear the do re mi if I go up like that. But that's what I do when I sit on the couch upstairs, you know. I noodle with different things. Some nights it might be D minor, which that key comes from F major, and I might focus on the minor flavor. So it's unlimited. But right now I'm just going to rehash the B minor pentatonic. In the lowest point on the fretboard to the highest. In the B minor pentatonic, if you start with the number 1, the root note of it, you start with a B. You got a B, a D, an E, an F sharp, and an A. That's it. B, D, E, F sharp, A. So there's an E in there, so that means I can start at E. So now we'll start at E, and we'll have an F sharp, and an A, and a B, and a D, and an E, and an F sharp, and an A, and a B, and a D, and an E, and an F sharp. Hear it? It's just a repetitive of 5 notes. All of what I'm going to do is just the same frickin' 5 notes over and over and over again. You're starting, when I go up to the next block, I'm just starting with that next note of that 5-note scale. What? Now if I run it in that sequence, you hear the B minor flavor. But if I go, I could go to a flavor of an E. What, you can use either a major or a minor, but what? Oh, the G. And then the next block up, and use this fingering for the sake of developing using all 4 fingers at will. What I used to do when I was first working on them, as soon as I got that second one going here, then I started tying the 2 of them together. So go back and forth tying them together, but also go up and down one and then go up and down the next one, like. So you get the ability to go ascend and descend, in that same block. And then when you do the next one, do the same thing. Alternate pick, so it gets to where you can travel up and down it without stopping and losing time. Keep the notes even. You can use a metronome if you're going to be a metal player and you want to get it up to 280 beats a minute or whatever, or 200. Then you use a metronome and you keep challenging yourself. And when you get to where you can do it at 120, click it up to 140 the next day, whatever. And then keep going like that. But keep the notes perfectly even. I don't use a metronome. I just try to roughly, keep it. What I used to like to do is play to a drum beat, and as long as you get that phrase within the bar that you want it in, whatever the phrase is you're doing, that's all that matters, as long as you start it and end it and get it in there, because it's not always going to be exact. You don't want everything so regimented that it sounds like a freaking machine. There's no soul in it. Anyways, so and then the next block up, you start with the A, middle finger. Now, these shapes, relative from one to the next, are that way in any key. You just move them all for that key. So this one here is we started with the third position of B minor. We started with the third position here because our first is up here. We're just about to get to it. So that was the third position, the shape. Fourth. Then the fifth position, I call this one the sandwich shape, because the bottom 2 strings is middle finger, baby finger, then first finger, baby finger, then back to the middle finger, baby finger. now we get to the first block. So that's the shape of your number one position for pentatonic in B. This is the shape. Alright, so if you were playing that in A, you wanted to play A minor pentatonic, you'd start here. But then that shape before it, which would be starting with the G, would be the same one we're doing here for the B. The sandwich shape is always before the number one block. And then the block after that one in B minor, you start with your middle finger and you play starting with the D note. Now it becomes your D major flavor if you go D to D. Pure major flavor. So this is the shape right after your minor shape. Always, no matter what key you do this in, the second block up from your number one block is going to be this shape. And use these fingers you see me using. Don't cheat and favor two fingers. Because that has opened up doors huge for me when I do soloing. Especially if I want to do fast stuff with 3 notes on a string. It would have been impossible if I didn't develop that baby finger. Impossible. Then the next shape up here, starting at the E note. Watch the fingers I use. Then you got to step over here. See that? So if I played that in context and kind of landed on B to purposely give you a resolve of the B flavor, see? So that shape there is like the one we did in the open position. And then this shape here at the 14th fret is the same one as this. So they're just repeating themselves up here. So if you learn these and you understand the shape after that one is the sandwich shape, and then your number one shape, well, it's the same thing here. Now after this one, sandwich, and then your number one shape again, back to this. So there you go. That's your B minor pentatonic. And then what I used to do with it when I was first getting these down was I'd also do different patterns with them, like that's a 6 count thing. I'm going down 2 notes per string, 3 strings, then I'm going back to the second string I played. And they also do it this way. And do that in all the blocks. All that. And again, every block here. This one would be I don't really use this one hardly ever, this shape. But I will use it in pieces. I'll do it. Things like that. I'll do those kind of things in that area, you know, a lot. But a lot of stuff up top, why the baby finger comes in handy, I do a lot of stuff with the baby finger. Where I'm reaching here. Three notes, I might start off. You know? You gotta have the baby finger to do that, you know, because you need this finger for the other note. That kind of thing, so. Oh, I got this on. What's this on? Let's load the gain up high. Let's put the gain right up halfway and make it real nasty, you know? So, I used to be able to do these, I can't do them. So there you go, your B minor pentatonic. When I solo, I don't follow the rule of alternate picking. I play how I want it to feel, you know, so I do a lot of hammer-on pull-off stuff because I have a lazy right hand, so whatever you want for sound. And a lot of slow stuff I do all down. That's all down. And if I want something a little slicker in there, like after that, for part of the phrase. You know, I ain't been playing, so I don't have what I used to have. You know, I do a lot of hammer-on stuff and slide up, you know. That's cool stuff too, and I'm just picking down, and I'm picking like every other note. I don't really, to be honest with you, I don't really think about what I'm doing there. But you know, when I get warmed up, which I'm not warmed up, I do some of that, alternate with it. So that kind of thing. So there you go, there's your B minor pentatonic. And you know, you can say a lot with very few notes too. You know, you don't have to be doing a bunch of notes, you know, just playing with attitude. Then I start going into Mixolydian and all the other flavors to give it flavor. That's Mixolydian, you know, a major third instead of a minor. That's pure minor. This is a Mixolydian flavor. Alright, anyways, there's just a part 2 of the B minor pentatonic. And hopefully the fretboard's in this picture like it should be.